help you if you are facing foreclosure. Don't lose your home due to foreclosures by the bank or mortgage company. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu at 954-596-0669. You have rights and we can help you exercise them. At Bilu and Bilu, your first consultation is always free. If your home is underwater or you are behind on your mortgage and you're confused about what to do, we can help. Call our office today, 954-596-0669 or 1-877-BILU-LAW. That's 1-877-BILU-LAW. At Bilu and Bilu, our lawyers have more than 20 years combined experience in real estate law. The banks have lawyers, and so should you. The lawyers at Bilu and Bilu can help you modify your loan or apply for a short sale while they defend your case in court. Contact the lawyers at Bilu and Bilu today so you can sleep easy tonight. Your home is your castle. Trust the professionals at Bilu and Bilu to defend it for you. The law office of Bilu and Bilu handles foreclosure defense in Broward and Palm Beach and all 67 Florida counties. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu today at 954-596-0669 or visit us on the web at bilulaw.com. That's BILULAW.com.
Hi, I'm Steve O with the Ask the Experts radio show. Join my co-host Renee and I every Friday as we interview some of the most prominent professionals in Palm Beach and Broward County. Each week we combine educational information on a variety of topics with a touch of humor and entertainment in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement so you can be more informed. We offer interviews on such topics as family law, foreclosure defense, estate planning, sleep apnea, roof repair, funeral pre-needs, mold and mildew, alcoholism addiction, and even a show that teaches you how to buy a new and used car from one of the top dealerships in South Florida. If you have a business and would like to be part of the Ask the Expert show, contact us at 954-336-3767. Position your company as an expert in your field. Call Ask the Experts radio show at 954-336-3767. Be sure to catch our show every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. or watch our show live at wwnnradio.com and click on the WWNN TV link. And we are back live here in studio. If you'd like to call us and talk to one of the top foreclosure
the best
defense law firm, I think, in Florida, call us at 888-565-1470. That's 888-565-1470. This is our second show with Attorney Gil Bilu. I love that name.
Welcome back to the studio, Gil.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me back again.
And he's strong, too. Listen to that. Passionate, great voice.
That's who you want to use. If you have a problem with a house or a foreclosure or short sale, you go to Bilu and Bilu.
You know what amazes me? This is really, because foreclosure, it is definitely no laughing matter. There's so many firms up here. What do you call them? Where they do everything. They do family law. They do bankruptcy law. They're shingles.
Boutique? Is it considered boutique firms?
Well, after
that practice all different types of law?
By the time you move out of that, you're really not a boutique. Boutique will handle in one specific area. Now, for us, we handle a lot of real estate, whether it be the transaction when you're buying the property or selling it in a short sale, or whether it's defending a property, or if you've got a problem with the contract, fighting over a security deposit, fighting over an earnest money deposit. We're all over real estate. Our boots are on the ground in real estate. That's really where we came up.
I like that terminology.
There we go. That's what we do.
How much is
real
your
estate? We do it.
Is foreclosure?
I'd say right now we're probably running a good 65 to 70% of our business is foreclosure related, between the short sales, the loan modifications, taking work to trial. Now, what's really interesting is, funny, you said one of the best foreclosure firms in the state, and I appreciate that. We actually have strategic alliances with other foreclosure defense firms elsewhere in the state, where they come from other parts of the state. They have clients down here. We started with a lot of them. We'll have you handle a couple of our hearings. Well, long story short, they've been so impressed they've started sending me to their trials, which I'm happy to talk about.
Yeah.
And I just want to tell everybody, because this is so cool now with technology, you can actually go to Gil's website at www.bilu, that's BILU law.com, and watch the show live Or if you're on your way from work, home from work, you can actually watch it tonight or this week at any time by going to their website.
That's right. So give everybody a little bit of a background that never heard you the first month about your firm.
All right. So my firm was started by myself and my partner Ron, who's my first cousin. We opened a title company back in 2003. Things were great. We were closing a fair amount of deals a month. It was really a lot of fun stuff. I actually had stopped doing litigation to the point that I forgot where the courthouse was. Then, of course, 2007 happens, and I can't count on my 50, 60 closings a month anymore. And I've got a whole database of people that are probably having trouble paying their mortgages. So it seemed like a natural next step to say, well, these people have helped us, and we've helped them. Let's see if we can help them a little bit more. And that's really how we got involved in the process of foreclosure. Because if you would have asked me 8 years ago, well, how do can you defend a foreclosure case? Well, my answer would have been, well, did you pay the mortgage? I don't really see how I'm going to defend it. Little did I know. And what we've actually found was that because of the way these loans were handled by the originating lenders, there really were a lot of problems, a lot of really legitimate problems. They were very sloppy with their paperwork, very sloppy with delivering what they needed to deliver.
Have those laws changed since?
Well, it's not about laws. What happens actually?
Or the loans. Has that changed since?
You would think that Wall Street would have learned its lesson, but no. We're seeing the same thing happening again. Loans are still being cut up and sold in tranches or split up into securities. Now they're doing it more with rental complexes and bigger loans, but it's still the same problem. And what we're seeing are these massive paperwork problems that are still plaguing us. Well, they're not plaguing us. They're helping people like me. Because if you had taken out a loan with Bank of America, and Bank of America held onto your loan and went to trial, that would knock out 70-80% of my defenses. So it would knock them all out. But that would knock out a lot of my defenses. But the fact that you originated a loan with AmeriQuest Mortgage Company, for example, who then sold it to AmeriQuest Holdings, who then transferred it to a trust, who then hired a servicer to service it, who then picked out the attorneys that were going to go ahead and prosecute a foreclosure. Well, nobody really knows where anything is, or everybody's just kind of passing the buck.
Yeah, it's a mess.
It is a mess, and it's our job to go in and scoop it up. And that's a lot of what we do. The one way to really fight a foreclosure successfully, what we found, is to be really detail-oriented. And, people always talk about it as being David versus Goliath, and that's a term that's thrown a lot for a lot of things. And I happen to be a little bit of a biblical scholar myself, and just saying big guy versus little guy is David versus Goliath does not do justice to David. Because David went in with a plan. David said, I've got this behemoth, this giant thing that I now need to fight. But he didn't just go in and say, I'm just going to leave it up to God, right? No, he didn't do that. God helps those who help themselves. He went and he picked out the 7 river rocks. It looked good. He said, I'm going to go in, I'm going to find a chink in his armor. The biblical story was actually hit him in the forehead right beneath his helmet, and I'm going to knock him out. And that's really a great metaphor for what it is that we do. You got to understand that, especially in Broward County, but Palm Beach County as well, they're mass setting trials. Broward County is insane in
And you
some
practice
respects.
in both counties.
I practice in all 67 counties in Florida.
Let me
You do.
introduce you to David.
No, it's actually Goliath.
No,
Oh, David.
that's Bank America. That's
What happens?
Goliath.
The bank's coming in, right? And, one firm will have 70 trials set that morning. Now, they know 95% of them, if not 99% of them, are going to be uncontested. Nobody's going to come in, or they're going to have settled it prior to trial. Well, now I come in, I've got 1, maybe 2. I try not to set more than 2 trials for the same day. Now I've got 1 or 2 cases. I've had the time to really go through, pick apart their case, find that chink in the armor, find that little spot under the helmet where I can knock them down and then impale them on their own sword, which just kind of completes my biblical metaphor.
I just got a visual.
So going to trial is just not about just wasting time, buying time. There's really things that can be done.
Well, I will tell you that when we first got into this game, look, it was all new. We didn't know. We said, let's treat this like a regular litigation file, right? Let's treat it like we're going to make them prove everything. And then as we started delving into the discovery, to the documents that they give us,
You start finding things?
we start finding big problems. And one of the key things that we found is the issue of what's called standing. If you're going to sue somebody and throw them out of their house, you need to have the right to have done that on the day you filed the lawsuit. Well, with sloppy paperwork, sometimes that can be hard to prove. And I will tell you, of my most successful cases, 90% of the times it comes down to standing. It comes down to the bank can't prove that they have the right to do this. The person that's there can't prove that they have the right to speak. The bank can't prove it. And
Has somebody ever actually kept their house once they went to a foreclosure process? And I'm saying that the bank didn't foreclose on them, even if they didn't make the payments. Does that ever happen?
It does, and we've seen it happen. Where have we seen it happen? And this is this is a strategic and financial decision by banks. If
No, I'm saying, do you find loopholes for that?
we find loopholes to get the mortgage completely knocked out, very, very rare occasion does a mortgage just get thrown out. And it's usually by some sort of grave misdoing by the bank or its attorneys, and it's a sanction from the judge. The judge says, not only are you losing the case, I'm not giving you back the note, I'm not giving you back the mortgage, your case is dismissed with prejudice. With prejudice means that you can never bring that again.
Wow.
That's incredible. Can you imagine?
What does it mean when someone wins? What does that mean for them?
Well, for a normal win, when I say quote-unquote normal, for the vast majority of defendants who win a foreclosure trial, we get what's called an involuntary dismissal. It's a dismissal normally without prejudice. What does that mean? That means that the bank can come and bring a new case. You know, there had been a big question that was just answered by the Fifth District Court of Appeal in Florida. Because we have something in Florida, and I think we touched upon this on the last show, called the statute of limitations.
Yes, I remember that.
Statute of limitations says if you are suing on a written contract or if you're suing on a mortgage, you have 5 years. The question is 5 years from when? Well, what the Fifth DCA has said, and it seems like a lot of the other circuits are starting to agree, is that you have 5 years from when a payment was due. Well, as you know, if you have a mortgage, your payment's due every month.
Right.
So what the Fifth DCA said is that, look, you've got 5 years from the time a payment's due, but if there's a payment due a month after you lose after the homeowner wins a trial, well, that starts that statute of limitations again. So anytime you are completely free and clear of having to pay that mortgage because you won a foreclosure trial, other than a decision by the judge or some sort of settlement, is when you've now gone more than 5 years after the end date of that mortgage. So if your mortgage was up in 2024 and you've had 4 foreclosure cases and you've had a great attorney who's won each one of them, and now it's 5 years past the point of the last payment being due, so it put us in 2029, then yeah, without a doubt, the bank can never bring that case again.
So that means...
That's amazing.
But what it also means, and this is what I tell my clients, because most of them are looking for loss mitigation. They're looking to modify, they're looking to do a short sale, something like that. I'd say the vast majority of our clients want to do something. They don't want to just keep fighting in perpetuity, right? But you have to understand, any decision that a bank makes when it comes to what to do with a loan, to modify it, to do a short sale, is a financial decision. The bank looks and says, how much money do I make if I foreclose? How much money do I make if I do a short sale? Whichever answer leads them to more money is generally the route that they're going to follow. It's sound business practices. They have stockholders to answer to. Makes sense. That's the way it should be. What we do by having an effective trial strategy and also having an effective loss mitigation department is we work that to your advantage. If the bank thinks they're going to foreclose your house and be done with it in a year, they have very little motivation to help you. If we've been in court for 4 years and you see that, and they see that I've built a strong case for trial, or if we've gone to trial and won and now the bank has to start all over again, their expenses go up because most homeowners who aren't paying their mortgage aren't paying the taxes, aren't paying the insurance, which means that the bank is stepping in and making those payments. Well, that all is going to get added to a principal balance. So that principal balance is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So at the end of the day, the bank's going, well, is this worth it for me anymore to keep flushing money down the toilet and waiting another 4 years and paying another $15,000 in taxes and $30,000 in insurance, or not? So the example I used earlier, if somebody owes $250,000 on a condo that's worth $35,000, the bank's going to say, you know what, I'm going to stop flushing money down the toilet bowl. I'm not going to go after these people. It's not worth it. The condo is not worth it. It is cheaper for us just let this guy have it and write off the loan.
Wow.
But then you're living in a $30,000 condo. You know, when you're looking at a bigger property, single-family residence, and right now home values in Florida have been going up a lot. It becomes a lot tougher. So really, what we have to do is bring the fight back to the bank, because adding insult to injury, right? Florida's got a great law. Statute 57105, subsection 3. I know everybody wants to hear that.
I thought that was it.
You knew that, right,
figured you
Steve?
would, right?
I knew that.
What does it say? It says if one side can gain attorney's fees by winning a case, the other side has to automatically get them. So even if your mortgage says that only the bank can recover attorney's fees, it doesn't matter. Well, at the end of the day, not only, let's say, is the bank now lost at trial after taking this for 4 years, but now they have to write a check to me and to my client to cover those attorney's fees.
Oh, that's right.
Wow.
Yeah, it's rubbing salt in the wound sometimes.
How many of the cases do you settle before you go to court? What percentage?
That's a hard percentage. I'd say easily, you're going to laugh, but 70 to 75% of our cases at least settle before we go to trial for various reasons. Some of those are because we're going for a short sale, and we've gone in. Sometimes you got the loan modification. Well, that's a settlement. But now
And what
let's
happens
say,
if there's two banks involved? Sometimes with short sales, you have two, people have,
A second?
second mortgage on their house.
well, if we're doing a short sale, we will negotiate with both the first and the second, because both of them need to release their liens, and hopefully what we push for is have them relieve our clients of any deficiency from either loan. Typically it's a little bit tougher with the second lender, because instead of getting all the proceeds from the sale, your second loan's getting $3,000, $5,000. On the same token, they have no security position in the property, especially if you owe more on the first mortgage than the property's worth. They understand it, they recognize it, and they'd rather get one in the hand rather than two in the bush. Because they also know that if they don't, a lot of our clients are going to go ahead and file a bankruptcy.
right.
As far as cases that would otherwise go to trial that settle, it really depends on the client's situation. If we're very close on a loan modification, my client says, you know what, I'll take the safe bet and I'll take some extra time, right? Well, then we'll go in, we will settle with the bank, say, look, give us 120 days from the date of the judgment, waive the deficiency so we have a backup in case short sale loan modification doesn't go through. And as long as we're continuing to work with them, we can always go in and we can extend that sale date again. Most courts are pretty good extending sale dates at least once, sometimes twice. My partner set the record in our office with 11.
Wow.
Wow.
11 on one file. Unbelievable. I give him full props. My partner Ron is great when it comes to that. And, you're funny. You said, I'm talking, I'm
Just
joking.
happens to have the same last name as you, right?
Happens to have the same last name as me. He's the other Bilu and Bilu and Bilu, but I'm first because I'm older. It's also knowing the judges. And I'm not saying that there's any sort of inappropriate... No, not at all. But my word is gold.
Right.
And most of the judges that know me...
Well, they respect you.
They know that if I come in and I say, I know that we've canceled the sale twice, but I tell my client just got a new job. I've gone through all the numbers, Your Honor. I've been personally on top of this. We really have a good shot at this modification. He'll look at it and he knows that I have a reputation for being honest when I say something.
Because you've probably
like
been
that.
up against them many times.
Right, and the bank's attorneys are the same way. Look, we know each other. The fight's generally not between us. It's between our clients. And we have to work together every day. And sometimes they need me to work with them, and sometimes I need them to work with me, and that's a good working relationship. And, it's the same thing with the judges. I mean, if you talk to a judge like they're a person, and really explain what's going on, and you prove time and time again that you mean what you say and that you're not just saying it to get the job done, then they're going to respect that, and that comes back. And that's something that we really pride ourselves on. I've turned down clients because they want me to present an argument to a judge that I know is absolutely false. And my reputation's not worth it, unfortunately. Or
Well,
fortunately.
listen, we got to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to do the Bilu and Bilu break at this time only, and we will be right back. I love listening to this guy. I get mesmerized. We'll be right back.
At the law firm of Bilu and Bilu, we can help you if you are facing foreclosure. Don't lose your home due to foreclosures by the bank or mortgage company. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu at 954-596-0669. You have rights and we can help you exercise them. At Bilu and Bilu, your first consultation is always free. If your home is underwater or you are behind on your mortgage and you're confused about what to do, we can help. Call our office today, 954-596-0669 or 1-877-BILU Law. That's 1-877-BILU Law. At Bilu and Bilu, our lawyers have more than 20 years combined experience in real estate law. The banks have lawyers, and so should you. The lawyers at Bilu and Bilu can help you modify your loan or apply for a short sale while they defend your case in court. Contact the lawyers at Bilu and Bilu today so you can sleep easy tonight. Your home is your castle. Trust the professionals at Bilu and Bilu to defend it for you. The law office of Bilu and Bilu handles foreclosure defense in Broward and Palm Beach and all 67 Florida counties. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu today at 954-596-0669 or visit us on the web at bilulaw.com. That's BILULAW.com.
And we're back. I had a friend of mine tell me one time, he said, I'm not worried. They aren't going to take my house away from me. They don't want to take your house.
Yes, they do. That's why you need an attorney.
The point I'm trying to make is, don't try to do this yourself. I mean, Renee tried that. It was.
I know, we just had this discussion. It was such a stupid mistake on my part, especially with the short sale. And I was just discussing this with you, with the deficiency. I had no clue that you're liable for that deficiency. So that's why you need to go to Bilu and Bilu,
Yeah,
because they
don't do
can
it
take care of
yourself.
that for you. Yeah, it's a lot. It's very stressful.
Now, you have a friend.
I have a friend. Actually, I want to take a minute to talk about, most people don't go to primary elections, much less the general before the primary. However, if you live in Palm Beach County, we have a very important election coming up on Tuesday, August 26th. It's a week from Tuesday. There are a lot of judgeships up. There's one very important one in Group 14. I'm going to actually hold this up so the camera can see it. Jessica Tickton is running to be circuit judge in Division 14 in West Palm Beach. I happen to have known Jessica for several years. A wonderful, wonderful young lady. She's a working mother. She's really, her and her father run a fantastic firm. They're one of my competitors, but they do great work.
Peter Tipton's in your living room every night just about.
Yeah, right, there you go. Jessica is running in Division 14 against Judge Diana Lewis. I am telling you that Jessica is exactly the type of person that we need sitting on the bench, which is just about the point that lawyers from my generation are now running for judges. She is, without a doubt, the type of person that we need sitting on a bench in Palm Beach County. So please, if you're not planning to vote, get out there and vote for her.
Jessica
If you are
Tickton.
going, please, please, please vote Tickton.
Okay. So I was looking at your website, and you've got to go to Gil's website, Bilu and Bilu.
There's a lot of information on there.
It's there, and plus you can watch the show on there. You can go back when you get home from work. You can go back and watch the show. You have the neatest thing on there. It actually breaks down when the process is first starting. Is day one. Day one is probably you're starting to miss payments.
Right. You miss your payment. 30 days later, they put you in collection. Actually, 16 days later, they put you in collection. Phone starts ringing off the hook. They'll start sending you, depending on who your servicer is, packages in the mail. Here's our loss mitigation package. Here it is, here it is. And look, if you're a regular W-2 employee, you've got a chance with getting your loan modification done by yourself. If you're self-employed, or if you just don't have the time to follow up with the bank all the time, really get an attorney involved. That's what we do full-time. We're here to help you out. If it goes past that point, the bank's going to file a
16 to
lawsuit.
30 days. Now what happens there?
16 to 30 days, again, the banks say they're going to be trying to get you into their loss mitigation programs, calling you, getting you to try to make a payment, that sort of thing. It's when we get past that point that things start to get complicated.
45 to 60 days.
45 to 60 days, you're in what we call early loss mitigation if you're trying to do something.
90 to 105
90
days.
to 105 days, you're now way past they're just waiting to send you out to an attorney. Generally anywhere between 6 months and I've
To
seen
a
some
year.
places 2 years. Yeah, you'll see a foreclosure case filed against you. Now that's where the real time limits come in. When you get served with that foreclosure case, you got 20 days to file a response.
When do they need to come in and see you? Which part of this process?
From
Honestly,
day one.
Day one or day -5. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to make my next payment. Can you help me out? The earlier you come in, the better. And I'll tell you a secret that really sounds like it works against me, but it works for me. The earlier you come in, the less money I need to charge you. Why do I say that? It sounds
Because
like
it's
worse
more-
because I'm
no,
collecting
because it
less
gets more
money.
complicated as
It
you
gets
go
more
along.
complicated. I have to put more hours into it. We have to put more work into getting the same result. So the earlier you come in, the better. Now, if you come in right after you've been served with a foreclosure complaint, which is really when a lot of clients come in, we can help you. If you come in 30 days later, we can probably still help you. But I have clients come in. I had one, actually the first foreclosure trial that I won. Client came in 4 years into the lawsuit with the trial date coming up in 3 months and said, "What can I do?"
Ay vey.
Yeah, all I will tell you is
What can
Goliath
you
didn't
do?
see it coming. Well, it depends on your case. That happened to be a great case for my client because the bank was not prepared for trial when the trial came around. But
Oh, that
generally,
works.
4
Yeah.
years are not prepared?
you have no idea. You know, these cases get passed around from law firm to law firm sometimes. They don't have all their paperwork. I had a 5-year-old case that went to trial in May. 5 years old. And this poor girl from the law firm that I was against, very nice young lady, actually a pretty good lawyer. I've been against her in other cases, comes in and asks for a continuance the day of trial. The judge is like, "Are you kidding?"
That's what
Wow.
I'm saying.
He denied it, and she had to dismiss her case.
Because she wasn't prepared.
She wasn't prepared. They didn't have all the documents they needed to go ahead to trial today, and they saw that I was prepared. I have gotten into the strange situation where I have banks attorneys begging the judge to continue a case when I'm ready to go forward. Which is, my clients are pretty happy with that. Look, again, one in the bird in the hand's worth two in the bush. Most of the time, I'll be just as prepared 2 months from then when we go to trial. Hopefully, I'll take the day and win it. It's really a matter of being prepared. But if you don't do anything, and that first story that I told, let me tell you, that guy lucked out like nobody's business. The good thing was he had filed his own answer. The bad thing was that it was a terrible answer. Thankfully, the court let me amend it. Not all
That's
courts will do
wonderful,
that. It's
yeah.
up to the judge's discretion.
Give
Okay,
everybody
I
your
was just
phone
about
number.
to say that.
954-596-0669. Give us a call, free consultation. We're happy to talk to you. Come on
Easy
in.
to find. I mean, their location is easy.
Give everybody your address also.
All right,
and
we're-
your website address.
All right, we're at 2700 West Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach. It's it's on Atlantic Boulevard, right between Powerline and the Turnpike. You can visit us on the web for more information, www.bilulaw.com. We can do late appointments, early appointments. You'll have to schedule those in advance. We're not as flexible as we'd like to be with that, but we're getting there. We can do phone consultations. I have a lot of clients I've never met in person that are thrilled with my service.
Great part
Perfect.
is that what we've shown everybody today on the show is don't try to take care of this
Do
yourself.
not. I did never again. So
Listen.
if you have a problem, call them.
The other side has attorneys.
The other side is
Yes.
attorneys, so should you. Without a
Exactly.
doubt. We go in and we fight hard. I don't back down. It's one of those things that I was getting ready for a trial the other day, and I'm waiting, and the bank's attorney comes over, and she goes, "Do you have a copy of X, Y, and Z?" And I open my big old trial binder, plop it down on the table, and I go, "There you go." She goes,
That was a sound effect.
right there you go. She goes, "Oh my God, you're really prepared." I said, "I'm not fooling around." That
This
was one
is
of
who you want. Listen, the show is Ask the Experts. Gil will be on with us every month. He'll be back again next month. Go to his website. You can watch today's show.
And get all the
only get
information,
the best.
yes.
The only best. Gil, thanks so much.
Thanks, Gil, for coming
I have
in.
so many pages
Me
of
too.
notes. It's just like, it just flies by.
It does.
We'll see you now, also on Mondays now from 4 to 5, starting next week. Thanks a lot for listening. Peace and love.
We're out.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Experts show with Steve-O and Renee. Tune in every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. while some of the top local experts in their field from Broward and Palm Beach counties educate you in the areas of law, health, financial, and home improvement. You can also call our offices at 888-574-6999 to become an expert on our show. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.